Okay, do it now.
So when
Okay, yeah. Well, what's the okay? Now, tell me about Muslim and Islam.
okay, Muslims are a set of people. Islam is a way of life. So it has nothing to do with the people themselves. It has to how you respond to life situations and things like that. There, it gives you it's a guideline on how to treat people in general. I mean, you got different kind of Muslims that actually
They
you can walk
practice
down the
different
street
customs.
and yeah, they got different things that they practice. Some of them are very violent. Some of them are loving and caring and nurturing, and they don't believe in a whole bunch of violence. So, depending on where you go and what you're dealing with, you're going to find different things. And that's the big variety is a spice of life. And that's true in all nature. Um, the more you get out amongst it, the more you'll learn about how, what, and when, and where, and why it is the way it is. But if you sit back and let somebody tell you what their experiences is, what you'll find out is you'll probably not get the richness of the true nature of whatever it is you're seeking.
What about the traditions? Um, some of the traditions that they have as Muslims or
Like I
as
said,
Islamic.
they pray 6 times a day. Um, they go on pilgrimages, and they are they're not very wasteful at all. They
What about what they eat?
well, they don't eat pork. For the majority of them, I've noticed some of the American ones do. All of a sudden, so I mean, and that's why I say you can't say all of anything is any one thing. They claim to be this and they claim to be that, but if you go to certain countries, you couldn't claim to be a Muslim because if you're not doing what they do, they don't acknowledge you.
So it's a way of life.
For in certain parts of the world, if you're not doing what they're doing and thinking the way they're thinking and acting the way they tell you to act, you're not what they say you are. You're not what you say you are based on what they are. So you got to get in where you fit in, and that's a lot of the Islamic countries. But you'll find out that
So
they
so you have
vary
to.
from one to another.
So in other words, you have to live that way.
Yeah,
You have to be what you say you are.
I mean you can't be a Muslim in their country or you can't be a Muslim here and go over there and not practice and change your ways because they're more strict about what they do.
More serious.
They take their religious beliefs more serious and more to heart. So if you leave here and go over there with your woman, even though she's an American, if she walked down the street without the proper garb on, they will attack her. So you got to watch those type of things based on, and that's why I say where you go and what the belief system is. You got to check into it before you go into some of these places because you'll find out. If you ever get a minute, go down to Oakland to the mosque and just spend an hour around 12 o'clock noon or so and just talk to some of the people when they're coming in and out to go pray. And just give them that, the investment of that little bit of time will enrich your understanding of a people that a lot of people are fearful of, and they're not the ones that be feared. Because the ones that's doing all that crazy stuff aren't them. They're just
It's different.
attached to it. It's an attachment.
Yeah. So it's a different type of Muslim, or they call itself Muslim. They'll use that name
Yeah, well,
in a
they're
sense
they're
of violence.
they're not practicing Islam. They're
Right.
practicing Muslim.
Because Islam, you saying so? In other words, Islam is peaceful.
Muslim is a religious practicing. Islam is a way of life.
Okay.
It's just a set of principles that, like,
A peaceful way of life.
yeah,
Would
yeah,
you
a
say?
peaceful one, more a pleasant way of life.
Pleasant way of life.
If you get into it, you'll find out that it ain't got nothing to do with all this violence. It ain't got nothing to do with hate. It has something to do with etiquette.
So when a lot of people, if they say they're Muslim, and then they go do something, then it's not every Muslim that is a Muslim. It's not everyone that's practicing Islam. It's just like certain groups that use that for their means of doing whatever they want to do.
Well, that's their
If
religious
you don't
belief.
understand,
If you
what a
believe
real
in
true-
Allah, you can be a Muslim. However, to practice Islam is a whole different ballgame.
and
So-
Islam, practice Islam is Allah their God,
Yes,
and being Muslim is
Allah's
Allah is their God.
still the name they use, and even in those sectors, a lot of effort is going into it now to change names and to call people Jehovah, and because of the teachings of the Bible, and what's happening in them countries is a lot of Muslims can read the Bible and get more out of the Bible than you'll get out of the Quran if you read the Quran, and vice versa, because it's new literature to them. It's a broader band,
Perspective on
and it broadened their view and give them a more open understanding that okay, we got a way of life over here, but they got a way of life over there that we wasn't allowed to acknowledge for a whole bunch of years. But over here, we're acceptable to everybody. We just open the door. Come on in. Bring what you know and bring it in. So for 100 years, we've been practicing a lot of stuff that they just now getting a wind of and getting the ability to be able to be open enough.
So what impresses you about this religion that you studied and know a lot about?
What impressed me was the fact that it was just more pure teachings, and they took interest in the teaching the kids. That's what really got to me, was they wasn't trying to raise adults, because by the time you become adult, you're already set in your ways. But they was reaching to the kids and trying to teach the kids how, what, where, when, how, and why things needed to be done certain ways. And they was there to nurture us. They was there to help us develop mentally, emotionally, physically. And even though they taught us some stuff that as young kids that our parents here in the United States wasn't all right with.
When that comes from being
They-
over in a
yeah,
country,
their
where
countries-
they're constantly warring.
Yeah, and that's what they was preparing
right,
us for,
right.
to be ready for war,
Right.
to get ready, because they knew, and don't get me wrong, the white man back then was the devil, and it was taught that way, and it's probably still going to be that way.
Right. Well, so in other words, they was getting all the kids and stuff, not only physically, but the mental aspect of it, like getting them mentally ready, so that they won't be drawn into some false teachings and
Well, they was
false leadership.
They was teaching us Islam, and then they was teaching us how to be
how
Muslims.
to live, how to live and how to be, like you were saying, and the way you should live your life, and
Yeah, I mean,
and what you should respect, and carry yourself, you and your family.
yes.
So in other words, it's like it's a family thing. I mean, they deal with the whole
yeah.
family.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
The wife,
family
the husband,
oriented.
and the kids.
Yeah, everybody got a role,
Yeah.
and everybody plays that role that they're supposed to be in at the time they're supposed to be in it. And it's a freedom thing, but it's a structured freedom.
Structure freedom. Okay.
Because you can be this or you can be that. Now, they're not going to make you do, but if you don't do, then you're going to be separated.
Okay.
Because
That sound right.
you can't be in my house and tell me what you're going to do.
Right.
It ain't going to do.
And I ain't going to do right.
Now, we're going to tolerate this for a certain period, but up after a certain age, if you're not doing, and that's why they reach you as kids, to try to get you to understand that you got a role to play, and you do your part, and we'll do our part. It ain't about the worldly goods. It's about religion. It's about teaching, and it's about taking care of each other.
In God's eyes.
Yes, about God. It's more, I don't see too many Muslims trying to get rich.
Right. It's just about really pleasing God.
It's about learning how to live on earth and be okay with being okay with yourself, exactly where you're at. And making sure that your fellow man around you is taken care of also.
I want to thank you. I really appreciate that information. That's the information I need. And I learned a whole lot, and I'm going to take this a little bit further, and talk to you a little bit more about this, what I mean, because I just seen some key points that I really didn't know until I talked to you. So, I really enjoyed that. And like I said, I'm finding some more information, do some more research. And I'm going to go to, you said, like one of the mosques and go into one of their services and just observe, their teaching and how their services run and how many times, what they pray and learn a little bit more instead of like looking on TV or asking someone, because experience is the best teacher. And I'm quite sure, but I really like what you said about, family structure. It's not just, just for the man.
Yeah, it ain't just that violent stuff that you see out there on TV.
Yeah, and it's not that violent stuff, like they see, everybody with bombs and stuff like that, right? It's way past that, and that's what a lot of Muslims in America were saying. Yo, you can't dictate me like that.
Yeah,
because that's not me.
I'm
not. That's not my category, and that's not the family I came from,
right.
And that's not the teaching that I believed in, that was taught to me. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Like I said, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna find out, about their service that they have, and find out a little bit more. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I thank you very much.
Yeah, because there's a place on Paulson Avenue too, on Fridays that you can go.